Let's move forward. Next paragraph. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly. It was early November and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Anil's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences, I knew, could one day bring me more than a few hundred rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. With these lines, we come to know that the face of a grieved Anil. The face of a grieved Anil whose trust Hari Singh has betrayed, whose trust he has betrayed, and the lure of being a respected man by learning the whole sentences and to add numbers. Due to Anil's teaching, makes Hari Singh realize his mistake. He decides to return the money, though Anil realizes that Hari had attempted to rob him, but at the same time acknowledges his change of heart. Because Hari Singh is thinking that it is more important to be a respected man in the society rather than the small theft, rather than the robbery. He realizes that rather than the robbery, it is very important to learn to read and write the whole sentences. And so he decided to correct his mistakes. Moving forward, I'm going to read out the paragraphs. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. Heart sank is a new phrase used here. It means felt depressed, realizing his own mistake. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered, and for the first time, he thought that he had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you will be paid regularly. My spirits rose. But when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Here again we introduce with the new phrase spirits rose. Spirits rose means become very hopeful, expecting something pleasant. Today we will start writing sentences. He said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. Ruskin Bond. Here through these paragraphs, we come to know that the thief realizes his own mistake and trying to correct his mistake. Hari Singh put the weight notes under the mattress, and when he awoke late next morning, he find that Anil already made the tea, and he stretched out his hands towards him, giving him a 50 rupee note so that he could do whatever he wanted to do that money with that money. And in this way his heart sank, he felt depressed, he realizes his own mistake. And when Anil promised to Hari Singh that he will be paid regularly, at that time Hari Singh's spirits rose. When he took that note, it was still wet from the night's rain. Moving forward, Anil told him that today we will start writing sentences. Actually, Anil easily detected the robbery, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything else. And that's the thing that Hari Singh realizes his mistake. When Anil told Hari Singh that he will teach him to write sentences, at that time he realizes his own fault, he realizes his own mistakes, and that's why his spirits rose. Thus, the lesson centers on the idea that we should believe in the inherent goodness of human beings. What we are going to learn from this lesson is that we should believe in the inherent goodness of human beings and trust them, as it can evoke a sense of realization even in the most corrupt of individuals. In this way, we have learned a very good lesson of life through the thief story written by Ruskin Bond. Thank you.